Welcome back to our final segment of our special look at autism here on GMA Now. So, the medication question, I'll start with you, Lou, and then Ari pitch in. What is the role of medications in typical cases?
Medication may be very useful for some children. What makes it hard is that in contrast to ABA, where you're able to study, or to meningitis, where you can study children given one drug versus another and see which one is better, doing those kinds of studies for children with such a diffuse set of symptoms as autism makes it hard to have confidence. And there's a certain amount, just like in mental illness, of trial in terms of selecting a medication. For some children, the medications for attention deficit disorder work well. For others, tranquilizers work well. And that's really where the doctor and the family have to work together to sort out what works for each individual child.
Ari, anything you want to add?
Well, you have to realize that autism is not like diabetes. You know, you give insulin to a diabetic, it's under control. For autism, that is not necessarily the case. And really, you're treating symptoms that are sometimes going along with autism. Some kids do have attention problems. Some kids have insomnia. I mean, so you're treating the symptoms that can go along with autism. And some kids have behaviors that parents and children will benefit from by getting them under control.
And so I'm going to make one more round of our wonderful parent panelists to comment if you want about medication in your experience or anything else that you would like other parents to know based on your experience. And I'll start with you, Dee Dee.
Well, I just want to let parents know that there are tremendous resources, and they're under the umbrella of Autism Speaks. If they want to find out anything, there is an autism source book. There are things not only for your child, but resources for the family. Because this really impacts. We only have one child. I have a stepson who's older, but it's so sad to see how the siblings, they want to do something. They don't know what to do. The community wants to do something, and it's so sad for a parent not to be able to be invited anymore to birthday parties because your child presents in a very dramatic fashion. So you want to have ways to explain this, and I'm so proud to say that there is something happening now. There's a movement to support families and siblings and the community, and thank you for doing this.
Our pleasure. Ken.
Yeah, that sense of isolation you're talking about can be very harmful to a family. So absolutely talk to other parents. That was always very good. I think a parent starts to believe that this is my story, I'm the only one doing this. It's just amazing when you're talk to other parents, and their stories are also your stories. Just look at evidence, stay evidence-based, and that means talking to your doctor. There's an awful lot of nonsense out there. I came across a figure the other day that healthcare fraud in the United States is about a $60 to $80 billion industry, and the bad guys know about autism. They know about us parents. Be very, very careful. Listen to your doctor.
They can play on your fears very easily.
They sure do.
Yeah. Joe?
I just would echo what they both said, and all I can say is, almost 20 years ago, Mia was diagnosed. There was something like 1 in 1,600 kids, and now it's 1 in 160. Something's going on. Something's been happening in these past 20 years, and thank God there are these. It's getting the attention that it does deserve, and hopefully through even programs like this and other awareness, and again, people just being on top of it and pursuing all the knowledge that they can about it. This too will go the way of polio someday, and we'll look back at it as something that used to happen to children.
And Ari and Lou, I'll give you each a final word, please. Anything you want to say about what you think is coming down the pike, or what you want parents to know?
Well, there's a lot coming down the pike, and people are continuing to research both causes and treatments. And the final comment that I'll make is that we all hope that insurance companies will cover the costs for some of these very expensive, intensive treatments for kids, because all kids who are on the spectrum deserve to get the services that they need. And Lou, you're the veteran.
We pediatricians are grateful for the parents who have stood up as advocates. Research is the key to preventing autism and to taking care of the children who are autistic and adults who are autistic now.
It's been a very interesting program for me. I've learned something from all of you, and I've been very inspired by hearing the stories of you as parents and how you've handle this as families, and I think it's going to be very useful to our viewers. So I want to thank all of you very much today.
Thanks for
Drs.
having us
Lou
on.
Cooper and Ari Brown, Ken Rybel, Didi Khan, and Joe Mantegna in Los Angeles. I'm Dr. Timothy Johnson in New York. We thank you for watching.
Tomorrow on the show, shopping for a new digital camera but feeling overwhelmed? Don't fret. We'll show you which cameras to focus on.